Alright you lot, let's be having ya! Welcome back to the channel. Today we're rolling up our sleeves and getting stuck in with 10 DIY projects that won't break the bank. We're talking about transforming your home without having to remortgage, yeah? Whether you're a seasoned DIYer or just starting out, we've got something for everyone. From sprucing up your walls with a lick of paint to finally tackling that tired old backsplash, these projects are all about big impact on a budget. And don't worry, we're not going to leave you hanging. We'll be breaking down each project step by step, giving you the lowdown on costs, and even pointing you in the right direction for materials. All the juicy details will be down in the description box, so don't forget to check it out. First up, we're tackling a DIY classic, giving a room a fresh lick of paint. Now, this might seem basic, but trust me, a new coat of paint can work wonders, brightening up even the dingiest of spaces. And the best part, it's one of the most budget-friendly ways to give your home a whole new vibe. We're talking instant transformation without the hefty price tag. Now, before you even think about dipping your brush, you need to figure out how much paint you'll actually need. Measure the height and width of your walls, deduct any windows or doors, and then head online or to your local DIY store. They'll be able to tell you how much paint you'll need based on the coverage of your chosen paint. Don't be shy about asking for advice. They've seen it all before. Right, let's talk numbers. For a standard-sized room, you're looking at about 2 coats of paint, which means 2 tins of your chosen colour. Prices can vary depending on brands and finishes, but you can snag a decent quality paint for around £20 to £30 per tin. Don't forget your tools. Brushes, rollers and masking tape will set you back another £20 to £30. So, all in, you're looking at around £70 to £90 for a complete paint job. Not bad, eh? Now, time is precious, so how long will this take you? A good rule of thumb is to allow a full day for each coat, including prep time like clearing the room and cleaning up afterwards. So, for a standard-sized room with 2 coats, you're looking at a weekend project. Put on your DIY pants, stick on some tunes and get stuck in. Next up, we're heading to the heart of the home, the kitchen. Now, kitchens don't have to be all about practicality, they can be stylish too. And one way to inject some personality into your culinary space is with a brand new backsplash. Forget those tired old tiles, we're talking about something fresh and modern that'll make you actually want to cook. Now, when it comes to backsplashes, the options are endless. From sleek and modern subway tiles to eye-catching mosaics, there's a style to suit every taste and budget. You can even get peel and stick tiles these days, which are a doddle to install. No more grouting nightmares, thank goodness. Head down to your local tile shop or browse online to see what tickles your fancy. Right, let's break down the cost of this little beauty. For a standard-sized kitchen, you're looking at around 4 to 5 square meters of tiles. Now, tile prices can vary wildly depending on the material and design, but you can pick up some stylish options for as little as £20 per square meter. That means you could be looking at around £80 to £100 for the tiles themselves. Don't forget the adhesive and grout. You'll need enough to secure your chosen tiles, which will set you back another £20 to £30. Add in a few tools like a tile cutter and a grout spreader, and you're looking at a total cost of around £150 to £200 for a brand spanking new backsplash. As for time, this project can be tackled over a weekend, especially if you're opting for those easy-peasy peel and stick tiles. Alright, coming in at number 3, it's building a raised garden bed. Now, this is a project that'll get you out in the fresh air, connect you with nature, and you don't have to be Alan Titchmarsh to give it a go. Whether you've got a tiny balcony or a sprawling garden, a raised bed can totally transform your space. Plus, it's dead easy to do on a budget. We're talking less than 500 quid, people. You can create a little haven for your herbs and veggies without breaking the bank. And it's not just about the money, is it? Building your own raised bed is proper satisfying, you know? You get that sense of accomplishment, a bit of pride in your work, and seeing those plants flourish in something you built yourself. Well, that's just magic, innit? So why not have a go? You might surprise yourself. And who knows, you might even find yourself with green fingers after all. Now, before you get carried away with visions of prize-winning pumpkins, let's talk about the materials. You've got loads of options here, depending on your budget and effort. Untreated timber sleepers are sturdy and look the part. Reclaimed wood adds character, but check for harmful treatments. Concrete breeze blocks are cheap, durable, and easy to use. Stack them up, secure with adhesive, and you're good to go. And there you have it, your very own raised garden bed ready for planting. Right, number 4 on our list is installing shelving units. Let me tell you, this is a game changer when it comes to decluttering and making your gaff look well smart. And the best part, it's cheap as chips and dead easy to do yourself. You don't need to be a master craftsman to whack up a few shelves, do you? A bit of common sense and a drill will do the job just fine. Think about it, shelves are like the sidekicks of the interior design world. They might not be the main attraction, but they play a vital supporting role. They hold your books, your plants, those little knickknacks you've picked up on your travels. They add personality to your space, you know? And the best part is, you can customize them to your heart's content. Whether you're after a sleek and modern vibe or something a bit more rustic and charming, there's a shelving solution out there for everyone. Now when it comes to choosing your shelves, you've got a few options. You can go for the classic floating shelves, which look dead modern and minimalist. Or if you need something a bit more heavy-duty, there's always the good old-fashioned bracket and shelf combo. You can pick up shelves and brackets for next to nothing from places like IKEA, B&Q, or even your local DIY shop. And if you're feeling really creative, you could even try upcycling some old pallets or crates into unique and stylish shelves. Now, the installation process is pretty straightforward. Just make sure you mark out where you want your shelves to go. Use a spirit level to make sure they're level. Won't want your books taking a tumble, will we? And then drill those bad boys into the wall. Just remember to use the right type of screws and wall plugs for your wall type, yeah? Safety first and all that. Right, coming in at number 5, it's replacing light fixtures. Now, this might seem like a small change, but trust me, it can make a massive difference to the look and feel of your gaff. We're not talking about rewiring the whole house here, just swapping out those tired old light fittings for something a bit more, you know, you. It's one of the easiest and most affordable ways to give your home a bit of a facelift. Think about it, those old dusty light fixtures. They're not doing you any favors, are they? They can make a room feel dingy and outdated. But a new light fixture? That's a different story. It can brighten up the space, add a touch of personality, and even make your home feel more modern and stylish. And the best part is, it's a project you can easily tackle yourself in an afternoon. Right, before you start fiddling with wires, make sure you switch off the electricity at the mains, yeah? Safety first and all that. Once you've done that, it's just a matter of unscrewing the old fixture and disconnecting the wires. Now, when it comes to choosing your new light fixture, the world is your oyster. You can go for something sleek and modern, something vintage and glamorous, or something totally out there and quirky. Places like IKEA, B&Q, and even supermarkets now have a cracking selection of affordable light fixtures. So you're bound to find something that tickles your fancy without breaking the bank. Once you've found your perfect match, it's just a matter of connecting the wires, screwing the new fixture in place, and voila! You've got yourself a brand new light. Right, so you've got this room, yeah? And it's fine, it's grand, but it's missing a bit of oomph, isn't it? That's where the feature wall comes in. It's like adding a bit of lippy before a night out, just a little something to make it pop. Now, a feature wall doesn't have to be this big dramatic thing. It can be dead simple, love. A lick of paint in a bold colour, some funky wallpaper, even just a gallery wall with your fave pics. The important thing is to choose something you love, something that reflects your personality. Because this is your gaff, yeah? Make it your own. We'll get into costs and all that jazz later, but honestly, you can do this on a shoestring. A bit of creativity goes a long way, doesn't it? Right, let's have a butcher's at how to actually get this done, shall we? First things first, prep is key. You wouldn't put makeup on a dirty face, would you? Give the wall a good clean and fill in any cracks or holes. Now, if you're going down the paint route, you're looking at about £20 to £30 for a decent tin of paint, depending on the colour and finish you fancy. Wallpaper can vary wildly in price, from a tenner to over £100, so have a good shop around. Don't forget your tools. Brushes, rollers, wallpaper paste, all that good stuff. You can probably pick those up for under £20 at any DIY shop. Time-wise, you're looking at a good afternoon for painting, maybe a bit longer for wallpaper depending on how confident you're feeling. But honestly, even if it takes a bit longer, who cares? You're saving yourself a fortune doing it yourself. We've all got that one piece of furniture in it. The one that's seen better days, gathering dust in the corner. But chucking it out? Not on our watch. With a bit of TLC, you can turn that old dog into a right showstopper. Refinishing furniture is like giving it a whole new lease of life. And it's dead easy, I promise. Plus, it's way cheaper than buying new and way better for the planet. First things first, assess the damage. Is it just a bit scratched up? Could do with a new lick of paint? Or is it a full-on restoration project? Don't panic, we'll tackle them all. The best bit? You can totally put your own stamp on it. Go wild with colour, try a bit of decoupage, or just keep it simple and chic. It's your masterpiece, love. Right, let's get down to business. You'll need sandpaper, paint stripper if you're dealing with layers of old varnish, primer, paint and some varnish or wax to finish it off. Now you can get all this stuff for under £50. Easy. Sandpaper's cheap as chips. And you can usually find decent paint and varnish in those bargain bins, especially if you're not fussy about the colour. Time-wise, it really depends on the size of the piece and how much work needs doing. A small side table might only take an afternoon, but a chest of drawers could take a weekend. But trust me, it's so satisfying seeing something you've transformed with your own two hands. And the best bit? You'll have a one-of-a-kind piece that no one else has. Right, what are we waiting for? Let's get cracking. Right, summer's coming, and let's be real. It's like living in a sauna sometimes, innit? But before you fork out for an expensive air conditioning unit, have you considered a ceiling fan? They're not just for your nan's house anymore. Ceiling fans are making a comeback, and for good reason. They're a cost-effective way to keep you cool in the summer and can even help circulate warm air in the winter, saving you money on your energy bills. Now I know what you're thinking. Stacey, love, I can barely change a light bulb, let alone install a whole ceiling fan. Trust me, it's not as daunting as it sounds. If I can do it, anyone can. But before you get your toolbox out, let's talk about the different types of ceiling fans and what to look for when you're buying one. First things first, safety first. Always turn off the electricity at the fuse box before you start fiddling with any wires. You'll need a drill, screwdriver, wire strippers, that kind of thing. A basic set costs under £30. A decent ceiling fan is around £70 to £80. Installing a ceiling fan involves some electrical work. If you're not comfortable, call a professional. Otherwise, follow online tutorials carefully. You'll be glad you did it yourself. Right, let's get cracking with number 9 on our hit list. A fire pit. Nothing screams cozy nights like a fire pit, does it? Safety first though, yeah? Make sure you're following all the local regulations. First things first, the materials. Paving stones or bricks from your local DIY shop, or some nice stone cladding. Don't forget the gravel for drainage, fire pit liner and mortar. You can usually find all this at your local DIY store or online. Think of all those marshmallow toasting evenings. The satisfaction of building it yourself, priceless. Now for the fun part, building the thing. You'll need to measure out your space first, obviously. No use in building a fire pit that only fits one person, unless you're going for that whole hermit vibe. Once you've got your base sorted, it's basically like building a mini wall in a circle. Lay down your first layer of bricks or stones, making sure they're nice and level, then whack on your adhesive or mortar. Keep layering it up like that, staggering the joints as you go for extra strength. You don't want your masterpiece crumbling after one use, do you? Once you've reached your desired height, leave it to dry properly. This is crucial, yeah? Don't rush it. Once it's all set, you can add your fire pit liner if you're using one and then fill the base with gravel for drainage. And there you have it, your very own fire pit, ready for you to unleash your inner pyromaniac. Just remember to be responsible, yeah? Alright, moving on to something a bit less fiery, installing a new faucet. Now this might seem a bit daunting, all that plumbing and whatnot, but trust me, it's totally doable. First up, you need to choose your weapon, or faucet, as they're more commonly known. There are loads of different styles, from those swanky waterfall ones to the classic mixer taps. It's all about personal preference, really. Price-wise, you can pick up a decent faucet for around £50, but obviously you can splash out if you fancy something a bit more, shall we say, extravagant. Now, before you get carried away with the shiny new taps, make sure you measure up properly. You don't want to end up with a faucet that doesn't fit your sink, do you? That's just asking for trouble. Once you've got your measurements and you've chosen your faucet, it's time to gather the rest of your tools. Right, wrenches at the ready, it's installation time. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this bit can be a bit fiddly, but just take your time and follow the instructions that come with your faucet. First things first, turn off the water supply. No one wants a surprise shower, especially not when you're under the sink. Then disconnect your old faucet. This usually involves loosening some nuts underneath the sink. Once the old faucet is out of the way, you can start installing your new one. Again, follow the instructions carefully, making sure everything is nice and tight. Once your new faucet is all hooked up, it's time for the moment of truth. Turn the water back on and check for leaks. If it's all dry as a bone, congratulations! You've officially installed a new faucet. And the best part? You probably saved yourself a good chunk of change by doing it yourself. Now go on, treat yourself to a cuppa, you've earned it. So there you have it, 10 DIY home improvement projects that won't break the bank. From a fresh lick of paint to a brand new fire pit, hopefully, I've given you some inspiration to tackle those little jobs around the house. Remember, DIY doesn't have to be daunting. Just take your time, do your research, and don't be afraid to get stuck in. You might even surprise yourself with what you can achieve. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more DIY tips and tricks. And don't forget to check out the description box below for links to all the materials we've talked about. Now, go forth and DIY.